I wanted to talk about why I do this. It's not because I care about having my business and phone number out there. It's more because I do investigative journalism. I do it out of necessity for my community, friends, volunteers, and the case I've been working on for the past year and a half. It's still ongoing, but it has to do with a fraudulent not-for-profit, a 501c3. The owner actually stated that he intends to use it for fraud, so it really doesn't get any more clear than that. There's a few issues with it. The main one is asbestos. The building that the not-for-profit owns, it's been abandoned since 1996. So the asbestos in there it's crumbling, it's falling off pipes, and children are sweeping it. So it's a really big deal. And then the other issue is theft of money. That's actually why I started investigating. And well, the asbestos was a side issue then, but the more I investigate, I realize that it should have always been my primary issue, and it kind of is now. And the money that got stolen, it wasn't even a huge amount. It was about $34,000, and I guess that is kind of big, but in retrospect, it's kind of minuscule. It's all long gone anyway. The people that stole it, they weren't so good about hiding it. You take a couple people who spent their whole life being broke, running their parents into the poorhouse, mooching away all their money, then suddenly they have tons of cash when there's allegations of theft, and buying a car with cash, taking extravagant vacations, and it was just completely obvious. I'm doing this because the people behind it are probably going to end up in jail. That was never my intention. I figured I would do the investigation, and with all the evidence and stories out there, they would just stop. But they didn't. They just got more nasty and vindictive. They kind of followed me around online, just desperate for anything to use against me, and there is nothing. So, but I just try to not give them anything to try to turn around against me. And the owner, he got caught recently doing federal crimes. He's been using his business to conduct online gambling. He's been caught twice, and that's like, go to federal prison stuff. So they're not too bright. I guess they could try to use this dialogue, but still there's nothing. Everything I've done, it's been proven. There's been samples analyzed that found asbestos. I do FOIAs, and I interview with all these state agencies, and the Illinois Department of Labor has documented the asbestos, and the state fire marshal lightly documented it. I talked to the chief inspector who wrote the report, and he completely agrees that it's full of asbestos and needs shut down. Unfortunately, it's like it's not their jurisdiction, and that sounds really silly. I mean, everything about this really has been a big nightmare. I thought I would just do this, and that's it. The evidence there, and whatever happens, happens. But it's like everywhere you turn, they can't help because it's someone else's department. And then you call that department, it's someone else's department. And what it all comes down to is this is an issue with local corruption, because it was actually like local people that are kind of high up in the local government. They're the ones that started this. So to shut it down would be to admit that they were breaking laws and committing crimes, and then they'd end up being liable. So that's kind of where I'm at now. It's all dealing with local corruption. So I deal with all that, which puts me in a pretty tough spot. Hopefully in the future I'll be able to do straight video without any of this, and it would look a whole lot nicer. I think this really detracts from the ideas and motivations behind my videos. So that's just what I wanted to say about that. I just want to kind of explain why I do this, and hopefully things will change in the future.